Watches and Wonders 2025 has now come to an end. Now that the dust has settled, I wanted to take a second to talk about some of my favorite watches that came from the event. To kick us off, one of my favorites, Hublot. Now, you know they combine art and fusion, and again, they're not backing off of that. They came out with their new light blue sapphire watch, which I thought in a 44mm case, which I thought was striking, just like I love the other one. They have a hefty price tag on it, somewhere around $100,000. Again, I say wait for it in the secondary market. It's gonna come down a good bit, but the way it looks aesthetically, I thought was a home run, and it goes along with the other ones they already have offered. The other thing we need to remember is that this is the 20th anniversary of Hublot's Big Bang. They came out with the 20th anniversary collection, and again, a lot of those pieces in there I thought were very striking. The King Gold, which is always one of my favorite Hublots, as well as they also came out with the titanium version that had a special 20th anniversary dial that I thought was very striking as well. So Hublot, good job. Those are my two favorites from you guys. The next one, I want to shift gears a little bit and go to IWC. IWC has made some great watches over the years. This year is no different. They came out with two that I thought were really, really cool watches. The first is going to be their perpetual calendar. Now, this is a great watch. They have a listed price tag of around $36,000. It was very striking. It has an open case back, and it's at a 42mm for a perpetual calendar. I thought was a great size, and with the open case back, I thought was a stunner. They did a great job with that. Now, the other IWC that stopped me in my tracks as I was thumbing through looking at all the different watches was the IWC Black Ceramic. Again, open case back, 42mm, price tag of around $19,000. Again, striking, one I'll certainly look to get a hold of in the future and sell down the line, and also buy it in the secondary market with any IWC, because just like Hublot, as I said before, you're gonna see a price hit when you walk out the door of the boutique with it. So in the secondary market, you can look for prices to be significantly less than the ones that I listed. Now, shifting gears to one of the Holy Trinity, VC came out with a Flying Tourbillon Perpetual Calendar. That's a mouthful, but the watch is worth the mouthful. When you look at it, it is a stunner. They did a great job, and they integrated their logo as the tourbillon. When you look at it, it is really, really cool. It's a 42mm, and on top of that has a 70-hour power reserve and is made in platinum. So VC, you did a great job. I think that it's one of the best looking watches that came out of Watches and Wonders 2025. Shifting gears to one of the brands that I have criticized heavily in the past, and you all know it, was Rolex. Rolex finally is, I think, starting to shift gears a little bit and become a little more exploratory and do some things that I have criticized them for in the past. Again, their case sizes are still a little bit too small for my wrist. However, they're making some big strides. They came out with an entirely new watch, which is the Land Dweller. Again, I think they kind of ripped off the 222, but that's my opinion. Not for me, but again, I think is a cool watch, and I think that they're trying to make some strides in areas that I felt that they were lacking. So talking about some of the Rolexes that I think did look great, number one, to kick it all off, was the GMT Master 2 Lefty. They came out with a green ceramic dial. I think it was a stunning dial. I wish that it wasn't in the Lefty, because again, I don't like the Lefty. Obviously, I'm right-handed, and I know it's kind of a novelty. For you left-handed people, I would definitely rock this. It's a cool watch, but the green ceramic pops, and I think it's a harken back to the Hulk and whatnot, and I think Rolex did a great job of integrating a new material into one of their dial faces. The next Rolex I think is a really cool watch. I think they did a great job with it, is the GMT Master 2 Tiger Iron Edition. Now, this isn't particularly my taste, but it does show that Rolex is trying to come up with some more fun, funky colors. The way the light strikes this particular dial, I think is really, really cool. When you mix it with the rose gold that Rolex does, I think it's a great looking watch. Again, not for me, but I think that they're trying to make some strides in some of the areas that I've accused them of being boring before. This watch is anything but boring and will definitely catch attention in any crowd. And lastly, from Rolex, probably what I would consider 1A of all the watches that came out of Watches and Wonders. Again, this is a stunner from Rolex, is their Sky Dweller on Jubilee with the green dial. I love this watch. The 42mm case is something that I would be able to wear as a big guy, and it would still look good on my wrist, and I love the way it looks aesthetically. Rolex, you hit the ball out of the park with this one, and this is one that I will definitely add to my personal collection moving forward, because you guys did a great job, and I think it's time that you guys are recognized for taking some strides and giving us these colorful dials and these really cool combinations that I think everybody loves, and I'm excited to see it in person and can't wait to add it to my collection. Now, to save the best for last, as you guys know, obviously I love AP. It's my favorite watch brand, and I think they came out with one of the coolest colors in all of Watches and Wonders this year, Blue Nuit. I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly, but the color is stunner. It harkens back to the original Offshores and the original Offshore design with that deep blue look, and it's a PVD, so the color is consistent throughout, and I think it's a really good looking watch. It comes in 3 different standard variations, or 3 different watches, I guess, excuse me. And the first is going to be just your standard Offshore chronograph, where it just has the bezel in that color. The next is going to be your open work, which again, a really cool watch. The colors I pop, and obviously open work complication is always cool, and I always love seeing the inner workings of a watch. And last but certainly not least is my favorite watch that came out of Watches and Wonders, the all blue ceramic case, ceramic band, and blue dial beast. This watch is a stunner. I love this watch. AP, you hit it out of the park with this one, and it's my favorite watch that came out of Watches and Wonders. Again, the green dial Sky Dweller is my 1A, but I think that this watch, obviously because I love AP, is the best looking watch that came out of Watches and Wonders 2025. So that's my review. Comment below on what you liked out of Watches and Wonders 2025. What did I hit right that you liked? What did I not say that you liked? I look forward to hearing from you all very soon. For now, Bob and Jiu Jitsu Watch Guy out.